about to know Pennystocking 101,000. Welcome back to the series where we take a fresh account on Webull, starting with just $100 and show you the journey it takes to grow that $100 into $1,000 over time. And we're back. Today is February 21st, 2019. Markets are red. And have a look at my account. You can see that my account is down quite a bit from where it was on the last episode. Against my better judgment, I have went back into options. Temptation is real. So you can see here my puts that I had some contracts on ENPH that expired today. I went against it. I bet against the that huge run up. I think it ran up nearly 50%, like around 45%. And I thought that it was going to be a pump and dump. And so I bought the $50 strike puts and expired, today. And I only spent about $135 on it. But that, is expiring worthless now because it just kept going up and, wasn't doing much in the realm of dropping hard. So lost that, unfortunately. But it's not the end of the world. I don't know why. I just really like these options trades. I know I said I was going to leave them alone, and right now you can see I'm in one as well on TNDM. I have a call option that expires next week, Friday. They have earnings coming up Monday after the close, and I'm expecting it to really, slam it this time. This stock, and you can feel free to research it yourself. This stock TNDM is nuts. You can see that the all-time high right now, or the 52-week high, is $91.65 a share. It's trading right around there. This stock was crazy. This same time earnings reported last year in 2019, the earnings were crazy back then. I remember this because I didn't trade it. I think the stock had some good earnings. It ran from $50 to $7 after earnings, so it had a nice 40% gain over a day or two, and it was nuts back then. And I was kicking myself for not getting in, but anyways, I'm expecting it to do that again, to make that move again. So I have the $100 strike price call on this that expires next week Friday. So we'll see how that works out. I'm really hoping it works out. Obviously, because you can see my entire account is put into this contract. $150 is put into this contract. So ideally this works out. But as far as the trades for the week, I did actually still make some penny stock trades this week. It's just that I one track mind, and I'm crazy about options apparently. So but I did do some penny stock trades this week, as you can see. Remember, we were in VIVE on last week Friday. We took it overnight, and actually, I'm sorry, not VIVE. We were in LLEX overnight, and we took that from last week Friday. We took that into Monday, or sorry, Tuesday, because it was a holiday Monday, I think. Okay, so what happened here was we got in at 31.75. We got out that Monday pre-market at 34.88, and I sold this way too soon. That's just what I do when I'm in the pre-market. My whole point is to make an overnight trade, and I just don't trust it sometimes. And so this was a day here in the pre-market where it went up to 46 cents a share in the pre-market. It went crazy that day. I got out right here. Right here. Yeah, actually right here. In this area here. I thought it was starting to make resistance here at 34. I knew it wasn't much volume. It was already like 5 o'clock in the pre-market. So it wasn't really, I didn't give it much time, but I just didn't really like that action. And I was already up 10%, so I just took the money. And then, later on, a couple hours later, this thing goes crazy. So I missed left another 20, 30% on the table, but it's not a big deal. It was just an overnight play. It was free money. I took it. So that was LLEX from last week. And this ISBC was a couple of the free stocks that they gave me from the invitations. So I sold those. So you can see that there. That added to my balance. That's just free money. I turned around and did CODX, I believe it was the next play. Yeah, CODX. This one was, oh, this was overnight actually. So before that, we did VIVE. I'm sorry. So we lost $6 on that one. This was kind of a stubborn overnight play here. I don't even know why I was in this one pretty much for as long as I was in. Because I had cut my loss. I mean, because I had took my profit so quickly on LLEX earlier that week, I said, you know what, I'm going to have a little more patience this time around and see what this thing can really do. So I was up like 19% at one point, almost 20% at one point. You can see I bought in at 181, and I actually, averaged up a little bit as it started coming back down. I bought 12 more shares at 194 because I really just wanted to have a little patience on this one. I see what it could do. It kept, so let's go to the date it actually happened. So this was it right here. 219 was the top in that pre-market. This is where I got in around here. Not through there, right around here when it started to ramp up a little bit. So about on this candlestick around here. This is when I got in. And I saw it. You can see this candlestick here where the wick extends right here at the 730 wick. 730 candle, you can see that it extends up to 204. There was so much selling around the 190s, $2.04 area. It was just so much profit taking. That was the first signs that this thing was getting ready to, probably lose steam. Then the next candlestick, it does push up. Again, has a hard time getting over $2, has a hard time maintaining that $2 break. But once it gets there, it kind of slowly ramps up to 219. Doesn't quite get to 220, and it comes straight back down pretty much and kind of wavers around there. And as I seen all of this topping out action here, I still did not sell. I just wanted to, see where this thing can go. And I think this candlestick here with this long extension down, that's where I bought the dip and I averaged up a little bit with 12 more shares. And so this thing just kept dropping, and I just did not want to. I wanted to give it more time. I don't know what was wrong with me. I just wanted to give it more time. So, my average was 182 a share, by the way. My average price was 182. So I didn't take my 20% gain up here in the pre-market like I should have. Just wanted to give it some more time because I didn't want it to just go crazy without me like LLEX did, and I sell way too soon. It's not a big deal. I knew what I was getting myself into by, getting a little bit too greedy on there, but and on the actual market open, I tried to wait to see where it was going to go. Again, you can see here that 206 here is where topped out, 209 there. So you can see that the low twos was a very, very rough area for a lot of profit taking right there. So it still failed to break out, convincingly through the twos. And so even through those signs coming in, I still just did not sell it. I don't know what was wrong with me. I figured this area here was a lot of support that it would eventually, get squeezed and bounce up really, really huge on the third push. They just pretty much consolidated all day. Didn't really have a strong push. And so I went ahead and put a stop loss in and got stopped out at 178. So I lost 4 cents a share on my average price. I lost 2%. It wasn't a big deal. I moved on. Eventually it did push back up to $2 a share. So I should have would have made like a 10% gain even after being stubborn. But it was not a big deal. The whole point was that the stock wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, so I went ahead and just got out, So that was that play. And then I turned around and then got into CODX and made $2. This is like a 2% win over. This is an overnight play from Thursday going into Friday. I got in at 304 and I got out at 310 next day in the pre-market. Kind of sold too soon, but it didn't really go anywhere, and that was my whole premise of it. I just didn't see it doing much. So you can see here, when I was paying attention to this, I saw that they had some news about the coronavirus. They have their complete submission of CE marking registration for coronavirus. Not a huge deal, but this is the day that the market had crashed. Likely due to the coronavirus, ramping up, and still fears of that. So I figured that coronavirus stocks might come back into play on a day like that. It pumped and dumped. It pumped up to 330. Profit taking hit it pretty hard and came back down. I went ahead and bought the dip around after the close. And so I bought it at 304. And I thought that it would have continuation the next day. It just didn't. You can see here, it pretty much traded flat. And I don't really like to give this too much time, because if it's not doing what I want it to do and it's not really getting that volume that I like to see, or it's just not getting that reaction that I want, I'm getting out. So especially if I have profits, so I'm getting out. I didn't quite wait for this spike up here to 315, 316, but I got out at 310. It didn't really do much. So I got out around this push up here. It is what it is, or around this push up here. It is what it is. I made 2%. It wasn't much, but the stock wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. I left 5 cents on the table. It's not a big deal. 5-6 cents on the table. It's not a big deal. And it just did not do much the rest of the day. So, you don't really want to bag hold these plays. And this stock could come back around, the next week, because it's held up so well, but I just don't really, that's not how I play it. This was specifically supposed to be an overnight play. That's it. Trade your plan. That's it. Plan your trades, trade your plans. That's it. It's that simple. And so this was pretty much a scratch, a 2%. So we got a 2% gain on that overnight there. And then we had a 10% gain on the LLEX overnight. And we had a 2% loss on the VIVE play, where I tried to get a little bit more patient. So 2% loss. So we pretty much had a small win week overall as far as the penny stocks go. So I'm doing pretty well with penny stocks. Gotten a heck of a lot better, to say the least. If you stuck with me through this journey, you know. So that's that. But sometimes it's just that, as humans, things don't really challenge us as much as we like it to. So if penny stocks aren't challenging me as much as I like it to, my brain just naturally navigates back towards options, and that's where I keep losing money. So, worst case scenario, I'm really expecting TNDM to really go crazy. Like I said, I've done my research, and I really expect this thing to, take off. There's a lot of, I think maybe around almost 11 to 20% short, short interest on this thing, and it's making new all-time highs. I think within the last, TNDM, within the last couple of months, it's actually rose from like around $60 to $90. So it's ran up 50% in the last couple of months. So, and as you've seen in the markets lately, I'm sure these parabolic runs going on with these stocks, Tesla, things like that. There's a lot of, these stocks become like cult stocks, where they just become the next best thing, and everybody piles onto them, and shorts are always, getting squeezed on them. So I'm really, really hoping that this is, this pays off. If this gets in the money, I'll walk away with $500+ on this contract. We'll see what happens. If not, then we probably lose the whole 150. So we lose our whole account and we blow up again due to options. That will be very, very unfortunate, but it happens. And I'm willing to play that risk. I know it kind of sounds like a gamble, but now you can kind of see where my account has been going through the years with things like this. This is what I've been doing. Steering away from penny stocks because it just don't challenge me like I would like them to. So I always end up going to something a little bit more, strategic, a little bit more difficult. And, I pay the price for it. I still want to do this one day. I like to dabble in both areas, but we'll see how this goes. Like I said, I'm at 150 right now. If this doesn't work out too well after hours on Monday when the earnings come out, what I'm saying, and then I'll lose my account, blow up again, and the worst case scenario is we lose that, and we have to re-up again and upload more funds and see how that works out, and start back again with penny stocks and just go cold turkey, just go straight and get back on track. But we'll see what happens. It's been a long video, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Now you know what's going on for this week. I just want you guys to be informed, and if you want to, feel free to take and trade TNDM as well. If maybe, do your research and look into it as well. Worst case scenario, if I lose money, if you lose money on it, trying to go into earnings, I lose money as well. We both lose, if you want to. I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying, do your research if you like to look into it, see what happens. But let's wrap up this video. Until next time, we just encourage you all to stay motivated, stay inspired, study hard, and eventually, penny stocks or any stocks will reward you. Thank you.